kind of mwahaha kind of way. I chuckle. Matt, thank you very much indeed. We've been talking about big diary events this weekend, haven't we? Talked about the boxing, the Ryder Cup, talked about the German election, but that's all just the warm-up, right?
Yeah, just the warm-up, because of course you've got Sequins and Sparkles. Strictly Come Dancing begins tonight with the first live show.
All 15 celebrities performing with their partners to begin their bid for that glitter ball trophy. Dan, of course, is going to be there among them. Let's have a look, shall we, at the group dance. This is a little bit of a sneak peek we got last week about their potential from last week.
It's not over till it's over. Say it one more time. I wanna dance. The music's got me going, and nothing that can stop how we move. Yeah, let's break our plans.
Tell you, you're feeling a bit of a buzz.
Yeah.
We're just talking to former Strictly Professional, of course, Kristina Rihanoff. Lovely to have you with us. Back on the sofa.
I know,
again.
so nice to be
back. Been so long, hasn't it? But you were just injecting that frisson of excitement.
That music, and I'm just, I want to be there. I want to dance again.
What do you make of them? I mean, it's early days, first proper night tonight, but from what you've seen so far?
Yes. Do you know what? I think it's a really wonderful cast, and the pairings are great. I think they really matched them well personality-wise. So I'm looking forward to tonight's show.
And that's all the more important, isn't it? Because you need a partner that's going to kind of bring out certain parts of your personality, and everyone will be petrified because it's so new.
Yes. As you know, it's a very full-on show and very emotional, very stressful sometimes. So you really want to feel that somebody is there for you, you know, like that teamwork is really important.
I mean, and there's a lot of pressure on the professionals to do that as well, because you're more than just teaching. You're like an emotional crutch, aren't you?
We're sort of there to guide, to help, to nurture, and of course, you know, people feel very vulnerable. So we see people for who they really are quite early on, and you kind of guide people through it, and you really want them to enjoy the process. That's what I always say to all my partners. You don't want to remember this experience like the horrible one. I just was always stressed, and that was it. You want them to feel good about themselves. So, yeah.
Tell you what, watching the warm-up show last week, Oti and Ugo, watching them together, it looked like they were really big mates already. This is the moment, I think, when they first met one another. And you can tell from that second, it looked like there was this really special connection. And I guess that translates onto the dance floor, doesn't it?
Absolutely, but that's what I was saying. I think they paired the pros and celebs really well, personality-wise, and I think we're going to see some really, really great, I know it's a cliche to say, journeys this year, because I think, you know, it's, we sort of for a big treat.
Talking about how competitive were you in kind of the rankings amongst the dancers?
Competitive.
You were competitive.
Let's just say it out loud.
When you remember.
Now I can say
it is a competition.
6 years on, yes,
it
I'm
is
very
a competition.
competitive.
Mike was partnered with Katya on the Strictly, and apparently Mike is the only one that she didn't make cry.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't remember anyone making them cry.
Well,
but...
no, you do cry. You do cry when you do Strictly.
I cried in training.
But Katya is now partnered with Adam Peaty, who has made no secret of being competitive either. What do you make of that pairing?
I think it's the best pairing ever, because they definitely, personality-wise, they're going to click. I mean, it can go against them too, if they're going to sort of be that competitive and maybe perhaps push each other, you know. But I think, you know, there's a lot of pressure on Adam to deliver, you know, to be good.
Yes.
And I think, you know, the sportsmen always do well because they just know how to be trained. They know how to take instructions. And
they want to win.
They want to win. I'm sure he wants to win. But I kind of feel a bit sorry for him too, because I think everybody, Adam, you must win. So it's a lot of pressure, I think, on him.
And he's also a big bloke. I mean, more difficult, isn't it?
Oh, it's good because guys are going to make him do all sorts of lifts and twirl her in the air, and all that. I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
There's been a lot of chat, hasn't there, about partnerships, and we should address this about vaccines.
Yes, of course.
So there are reports that a couple of professional dancers haven't been vaccinated, and that's causing some friction, some reluctance by some to be partnered with them. What do you make of this?
Well, I said in another show that I don't think the story is true. I think BBC said yesterday in a statement that actually nobody is refusing to dance with anyone. But we also don't know the actual, the truth, because they might as well be vaccinated, but maybe perhaps it's a vaccine which is not recognized here, like Russian one, Sputnik. So you can't maybe ask people coming to the show, and what do you do then? Do you ask them to be double vaccinated again just because we don't recognize another vaccine from another country? We don't know the truth behind the story, you see.
What does that do for the atmosphere in that camp, knowing these negative stories around, which do happen, there are negative and positive.
Of course. And, it just kind of, I remember when anything like that about the show there, there may be pros being harsh on celebs or something like that, we kind of become even tighter group. We support one another because we have a massive show to put on in front of millions of people. So we always, Naga, I don't know if you remember that experience, but I always felt that pros were behind me and so celebs, because we know we have to deliver a big show.
I'm just wondering, if you were in the show this year as a professional and you were partnered with a celebrity and you suspected that celebrity wasn't vaccinated.
They just said they weren't.
Yeah. Would you be okay with that?
I personally would be okay, and I've said it already too. I'm double vaccinated. That was my choice to do so. But we know it doesn't give you 100% protection anyway. I also can get COVID, and I can go to Tesco, do my shopping, and still get the virus, carry the virus. So there is no 100% guarantees ever in life or with the vaccination. So I think they always do checks. Obviously, BBC said that they do very thorough checks and testing and all that. So I think as long as that's in place, we have to trust the BBC and believe that it's all going to be well.
Which partnership are you most excited about?
For me, Giovanni and Rose. I think it's amazing that she's on the show. I'm really rooting for her.
Because she's hard of hearing. She's deaf, and so she'll be feeling the music and being taught the music in a very, very different way.
I think we need to kind of see a very special thing happening on the show. I know a little bit about that because I danced with, obviously, Ben, and he's partially deaf. And
your partner, Ben Cohen, yes.
And it was a lot of challenges because he couldn't, even though he loved ballroom, he couldn't hear the melody. So it was kind of like dancing and not knowing what's going on, where the strong beats for the jive and Charleston was better for him. So being fully deaf, it's probably really a big challenge.
And a pressure on Giovanni because he'll be leading, particularly in ballroom, in hold. He will be physically
signaling, pushing, working, making sure that she understands where the beat is and all that. But I'm so excited, and I think it's going to be wonderful to see.
Got your snacks in?
Yes! Snacks in, family ready to watch.
Great stuff. Well, enjoy it. I'm sure we'll speak to you during the series.
Kristina,
but for now, Kristina, thanks very much.
Thank you. Much more coming up on Breakfast. See you shortly.